So the production company that does all the Resident Evil movies apparently is in talks and in the midst of trying to go and produce a live-action TV series based on the Resident Evil franchise. Now, immediately, this is a lot of cause for concern whenever it comes to somebody like me, a longtime fan, because I always just wonder, how are you going to go about fucking it up? I never trust Hollywood with adapting anything from video games into films and doing it very well, because they just, I don't know, seem to Hollywoodize it, sprinkle on all their dumb bullshit, and take it 9 million miles away from the source material, and just add in some of their, you know, the themes of what the game is, and the title, obviously, just to make sure that they can go and wrangle in all the people that actually like the original source material. But I started thinking about this more from the stance of, how would I go about trying to produce something like this? What would I want to see as a fan? And it's kind of strange, but I had to think about this quite a bit. How would you go about a long-running television series? Something, most television series that are doing live adaptations of things run about, they're an hour long, so usually it's about 45 minutes or so of actual content that you're watching after you take out all the commercials and stuff. So 45 minutes and just going full-out seasons. The first thing that I would probably do, just thinking about this, is I would make it something that it's from tons of various points of views and even timelines, potentially, within the Resident Evil universe. I would take this all the way back, probably around the time of Resident Evil 0. So you can literally see before all the shit goes down. And the thing is, this would have to be a slow burn for it to really work. And that's one of the downsides to this, is that for some people, watching it from the beginning and stuff would end up being kind of boring, because you wouldn't see tons of monsters who have the T-virus and G-virus and the Veronica virus and all the other fucking viruses that they have out there, because there's tons of them. But you want to see, you know, actual character development and growth, and you want to see how this stuff manifests itself. You want to see why things are the way that they are, and hopefully they're smart enough to go and do something like that. Like, I think about a show like Game of Thrones, for example, which I love the shit out of Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is busy as shit, though. As the series progressed, you started seeing characters from all over the world, different cities, different countries, different parts of the place, and you're seeing all the stuff that they're doing, so they're building it up all over, then eventually they end up coming together. Some of the things they're doing affects this area, yada yada yada. I think they'd have to go and do the same exact thing with this. I would try making more of an accurate adaptation of the Resident Evil games, which you don't have to tell the actual story of Resident Evil scene for scene, word for word, character for character, but I think that they should be smart enough to try to do some things that they originally were going to do, like bring in characters like Elsa Walker, for example. I think that she should actually become a character in it. Marvin from Resident Evil 2 should actually be part of it. I'd like to see Hunk be a fleshed out character. You know, because it'd be interesting to see somebody who's working for Umbrella and might end up becoming like his own dude, a mercenary that's just kind of for hire and running around all over the fucking place. And I think it would matter more making a slow burn, because whenever you do start seeing the zombies and stuff pop up, it becomes a bigger deal. Like The Walking Dead, for example. The Walking Dead doesn't have zombies thrown at you 24/7, because if it was like that, characters would be dying left and right, and seeing the zombies all the time wouldn't make it as frightening and wouldn't make it as interesting if that's all that you're seeing the entire time. They're smart enough to actually make it so that, you know, there's a lot of tension between all the characters, and they're smart enough to go and build up stuff on there. I'm just hoping that they're smart enough to do it with something like this. Whenever I see the live action movies, I'm personally not all that big of a fan. The earlier movies, I was kind of into, and then it just seemed to snowball into a fucking train wreck afterwards. And it was so all over the place. I know everybody's gonna have their opinions and shit, but that's my opinion about it. But with something like this, I feel that they could do better with a series like this than they could with the movies, to be honest. Because the movies are their own thing. We already know what the fucking movies are. But I look at how the novels played out, I look at how the comic books played out, and I think if they're smart about it, they get the right people on board, and they look at the source material of the Resident Evil games, they're like, okay, we need to make sure that we're faithful to this, so that we can have all the old school Resident Evil fans, all the modern Resident Evil fans, and people that have no interest in the series whatsoever, all the people that have just checked out the movies but have not ever played the games. We want all of them, all encompassing, to go and check out this TV series, and then even newcomers to that haven't checked out anything whatsoever but have heard about it, because, I mean, the fact is, Resident Evil is a household name. It's something everybody's fucking heard about. I love horror shows, I love sci-fi shows and stuff. You know, Walking Dead's fucking awesome, The X-Files is awesome, stuff like that. I'm just like, I look at that and I just think to myself, that's what I want to see more of. I love fiction in general, and with Resident Evil, there'd be tons of cool shit that they could do. I mean, do I want to see Leon Kennedy in it? Yes, most fucking definitely. I want to see Leon Kennedy in some. Going to see Claire Redfield, Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine. Yes, I want to see that. I want to see both all three Birkins inside something like this. You know, I want to see the Spencer Mansion stuff, and how long that they could actually just play that entire shit out. I want them to use practical effects, for example. Practical effects or something. Like, I know that CG is easier, and it is a lot nicer on a smaller budget, but at the same point, practical effects look nicer. They really do in a lot of ways, because there's something physical there for the actors to interact with. And I know tons of people, like, if you went and called up the Tom Savini School for makeup and special effects and stuff, and told them, hey, we're working on a Resident Evil pilot right now, we need your help with going and getting this stuff out there, that'd be cool as shit. Just imagine if this is going all the way back to zero, you know, and they're injecting people with some of this stuff, and you get to see zombies for the first time, and some of the people, it's starting to spread onto them. You know, I would love to see shit like that, and then just like little Easter eggs here and there making fun of the entire series. At some point they could have somebody going up to a door and it goes to like the loading sequence whenever they go and open the door and shit, or when they walk up the stairs, just for the fuck of it. Not all the time, just at one random point, or they come across the green earth. Somebody's got to go and make a marijuana reference, but like, can you imagine somebody taking this and actually feeling better, just rubbing the shit on there, just, you know, I mean, like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that hunter scratched the shit out of me, and so that liquor, you know, I feel 100 times better right now. Look at that. Not a goddamn thing. No blood. It's like, it didn't even tear my clothes. I don't even know how the fuck that happened. That's something else. But I do. I want to see this happen. Practical effects, most fucking definitely. Just do a bang-up job with this. Make it mature rated so that you're not having to go and pull punches, for example. Like, I want them to go all out. Get the right people on board that understand horror, that understand video games, that understand what this actually should be. But again, I'm just so worried that it's going to be fucked up, because it's so easy for something like that to happen. It is. And it makes you fucking depressed, because you're just like, that could have been so awesome, and it's not. So, a one season done, but who knows, all we're going to do is cross our fingers, see who they cast, who they have as director and writer, and see something actually presented in trailer form to find exactly what the fuck we're going to be dealing with. Either way, whenever they do show it off, you already know I'm going to have something to fucking say about it, but for now, all we can do is just talk about what we want to see and what we hope for. Either way, opinions and thoughts on this? Do you think that it could be good? Do you think that they shouldn't be approaching this whatsoever? What TV station would you get on it? What actors would you actually get in role of this? What kind of approach would you take with it? There's a lot. If you feel like making a response video to something like this, by all means, go and do that, because there's a shit ton of stuff to talk about. But either way, you already heard what I had to say. Ha-ha! Anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin. As always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers. Game the fuck on.